Really? They don't feel cold? It's windy outside.
Nous avons ça quand même.
Max, I probably need to have a sitting with the computer guys. Password expire again.
Okay. He's not here now.
No, not now.
Yes.
Of course not. Oh, let me see. It's asking me if I want to change it myself.
It should let you.
Yeah, let me see. Last time they did not check.
Yeah, I believe you have to change them. The whole city has to change them every 3 months.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I call this meeting of Hamtramck City Council to order. Today is Tuesday, January 28th, and it's 7:02 p.m. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Councilman Rafai,
Present.
Councilman Musa,
Present.
Councilman Sidman,
Present.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Al-Samiri,
Yes, present.
Councilman Hassan,
Present.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Do we have any community announcements?
We do. Mr. Mayor, Council, on the 4th, the subcommittee for the parking contract is going to meet right here in this chamber. I believe it's at 6 o'clock. We are in the process of not only personally going to all the businesses affected by it, each and every one of them, but we're also mailing flyers and also calling them so that everyone is aware of it. On the same day at 5 p.m., we're going to have a town hall for the residents affected by the Goodson project as well, just to try and get a jump on that, to explain to some of them residents what's about to happen with basically Goodson being torn out for an extended period as well. So I think that's all I have. Robin, I missed anything?
All right. Any other announcements? Okay. We move to proclamations, recognitions, and presentations, and we have the first one, proclamation in loving memory of Angeline Rooks. Do you like to read it, or
I have it posted online, it's up to you. I'll read it if you'd like.
is the family here?
I don't believe so.
No? Okay, then probably because I have it here printed.
We'll get it to them.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll mail it to
so,
them.
all right, thank you. The next one is another proclamation for the Black History Month. And then we have a proclamation for World Hijab Day And then we have presentation by UHY on Hamtramck City, City Annual 2024 Audit. Do we have anyone to present that?
Yes. we do.
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So I'll give you your,
You're gonna let me work, huh?
Yes. It's on. Okay, so hold on, let me just put it up for you.
All right, it actually works, good. I said, good evening, my name is Marlene Beach, I'm the principal at UHY. This is Mark Bushnell, and Mark was the manager in charge of the audit. As opposed to going through the financial statements, we, as we normally do, we set up a PowerPoint presentation to kind of hit some of the high points. Accounting standards require that we provide you guys with certain administrative matters regarding our work. As I said, we prepared this summary of it. The financial statements are the property of the city. The only thing that is ours is the report. Our report does say we audited the financial statements of the city, the governmental activities, the business activities, and the component unit, each major fund, and the remaining fund information of the city as of and for the year, June 30th, 2024. Also includes the related notes to the financial statements. As you'll notice that the notes get longer and longer every year. The financial statements, the actual statements themselves, take up probably about a third. The rest is your financial statement notes. As detailed in our auditor's opinion, we did issue an unmodified opinion. An unmodified opinion is the highest opinion we can give. Accounting standards require that we provide you with certain information. We did provide an engagement letter at the start of the audit. Management's responsible for the selection of the accounting policies, and those are detailed in Note 1 to the financial statements. There was a new GASB this year, accounting changes and error corrections. The city did adopt that as of July 1st, 2023. The city does make certain estimates. As part of our audit procedures, we evaluate the reasonableness of these estimates. And the most sensitive estimate in the city's financial statements was the pension and OPEB liability, the depreciable lives of the property and equipment also. We did have a few journal entries that was provided to management as part of the audit. They were made, so the financial statements were done and complete at the end of the audit. We're not aware that the financial statements are being concluded with any other documents aside from the single audit report, which does get submitted to the Federal Audit Clearinghouse. We're pleased to report there were no disagreements with city management. Amir and everybody, they were great. They had things ready for us. One of the things we look at during our audit is the speed which we get information back. And everything came back extremely timely, which means everything was, they were ready for us, they were prepared, they had the documentations that we asked for. There were no issues discussed with management prior to our appointment. Now I'm gonna go through a few graphs. As I said, this is just kind of a highlight of the financial statements. The key fund of the city, as you're well aware, is the general fund. And if you look at 23 to 24, the sizes of the pies are almost identical. And cash and equivalent was 69% last year, and it's 70%. Receivables at about 3.4 mil were 27%. Last year they were 28%, so almost identical numbers. Receivables are just a function of time. If we'd have done the audit 4 days later, you know, the receivable balance could have been different. So it's just a matter of when things come in. A lot of that had to do with grants and amounts that were due from the state of Michigan. So the assets are what you own, the liabilities are what you owe, and the fund balance is the remaining. Payables and other accruals, once again, it's kind of like receivables, it's a function of when the audit takes place. Last year, they were 20%, this year, they're 21. Again, we're looking at very consistent numbers year over year. One thing you want to look at is your fund balance unrestricted. That means the funds that are available for the city to use for general purposes. Last year, they were 70%. This year, last year they were 71%. 2024, they're 70%. Again, very comparable numbers. Fund balance was 9 million. Fund balance this year was about 8.7, and that's just a function of expenses in excess of revenues this year. This slide shows the general fund revenue. The big difference you're gonna see in this one is on the 2024 as you look at grant revenue of a little over $16 million. This was the money that you received from the state of Michigan for the pension grant. So that did skew, you know, the sizes of the pies from year over year. So if we look at the next slide, this is the general fund revenues. We just took out that 16 million just for comparability sakes. Property taxes last year were 7.6 million. Property tax revenue was up considerably this year to 8.4. State shared revenue was also up. And you'll notice income tax had a substantial increase. Property tax was 32% last year, and it's about 35% this year. Income tax were 15%. Income tax this year was 19%. Because the revenue was, we had that grant revenue, we'd also have the associated expense. So that's why you see the change in public safety. We had $13 million last year, 31 this year. But once again, we did a slide. We took out that grant revenue, or the grant expenditures. Public safety was 13.5 last year, and about 14.7 this year. 66%, but it's down to 59. General government was about 5.2 last year and approximately 7.9 this year. Other fund we'd like to highlight is water and sewer fund, because it's one of the largest funds in the city. Sale of water last year was just a little bit over 4 million. This year you're looking at about 4.6. Sewage disposal charges last year were 4.9, and this year they're up to 5.7. So you've got a great increase in revenue in the water and sewer funds. There was substantial grant revenue this year. It was 2 million last year, and this year again it's 4.4. So anytime you have an increase in grant revenue, we expect to see an increase in grant expense where you're spending the money. Cost of the sewer treatment last year was about $4 million. This year it's just a little over 4.3. Operation and maintenance, this is where the grant funds would flow through. So you had 2.7. This year they're about $7 million. Once again, you had grant revenue, so you're going to see those related expenses that go with it. This year the city was also subject to a single audit. A single audit is conducted anytime your federal expenditures, which is expenditures of federal revenues, exceed $750,000. We had one major program that we tested. That was the coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. Next year, the limit is going up to $1 million, but the city does have Eagle grants for next year, so there will be, more than likely, will be a single audit again next year. One of the things that you do as part of a single audit is you look at the internal controls of the city. This was done for a basis for designing our audits, but it was not for the purpose of expressing opinion. So accordingly, we do not express an opinion on the effectiveness of the city's internal control. There's two types of findings. One's a material weakness, one's a significant deficiency. These are just the definitions of both. There was one financial statement audit finding this year that was related to segregation of duties related to banking. That issue was resolved before the audit was complete. It was So there's access to the banks that one person could do more than just one portion of the banking. So the person could input and also approve. That has since been remediated, and now you have a great segregation of duties in your banking, which means one person cannot cannot input and approve banking. So it requires two people to do ACHs, two people to do wire transfers. And as I mentioned, that was corrected prior to the end of our audit. And that is the basis for our presentation. Does anybody have questions on anything that I can answer?
No, ma'am.
Right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
I got some question.
Uh-huh.
If I want a report for this, for our sister, like for 5 years, can we make a report?
Pardon me?
If I make a report, I want a report for, like, from 2019 till now.
I'm sorry.
He wanna see the report
Report
for 5 years.
for 5 years.
You mean in the report itself that we
Yeah.
prepare?
This is a years, and it for 5 years. How they going?
No, and
Because the
actually,
Milligan Hamtramck is high. Can we make a report?
the report itself, no, GASB does not allow that.
Is not allowed to make a
GAS
report?
We're not allowed to make a 5-year report.
Separate?
The
From,
sep- the separate years,
from
each-
2019 till now.
Yeah, each of those reports is available on the city
think
website.
is-
You can look at every
Is
year
Our
past. I mean,
finance
everything's
director can
on
give
board
it to
docs.
you.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Yeah, those are
Okay.
available on the city website. They're also
Board doesn't
available,
have it.
they're available on the state of Michigan
The
website also.
finance director can give
Yeah.
it to
Yeah,
you.
it's on board docs, Councilman. You can go back and look all the way.
I need to make it in my hand.
So he wanna print
Yeah,
out,
print it
give
for
him
you.
to, give it
We
to
just
you.
print it for you.
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
One question. Do you have any concern or any major finding this audit?
We did
Anything?
not. The one finding we did have was segregation
You
duties, and that
already
has
spoke
been corrected. So other than that, we had no recommendations and no findings, so.
So I see the graph, the maintenance, operation maintenance, is a little bit difference from last year, 23 to 24. You say grant money will cover most of them. So any other slide I didn't see, but you say you take off the,
Yeah, anytime, there was a lot of grant money this year, so anytime we see grant revenue, we also expect to see the grant, expenditures go up because you're
Okay.
spending your grant funds. So that is
I was expecting one more slide.
that was an
Okay.
expected thing, correct.
All right, thank you so
Other
much.
questions?
thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, the next item is the fire department annual report, please.
We have the fire chief here for this, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Are you ready to roll in? All right, so this is our year-end report for 2024 for the fire department. Our staffing for the year remained consistent in 2024. We had one firefighter resign, and the position was filled immediately. So we are at full staffing. That includes one chief, one fire marshal, 2 captains, 4 lieutenants, 6 motor engineers, and 12 firefighters. Part of our job with the fire department is community risk reduction. Among that, the duties there is fire inspections, smoke alarm installation, CO monitor installations, pre-incident walkthroughs, school surveys, our school fire prevention surveys, and community events. As far as inspection activity, our fire marshal handles those. He does all the business inspections for the city. This year we had a slight decrease in inspections and in re-inspections, which means that he's being more effective, and as he comes back to the businesses, they're complying and the codes are being met. So we're getting safer through his actions. He has managed to make it to every business in the city now 2 years consistently, and that's a big step for us, and it's a big step towards our ISO rating. As far as, yeah, it's not working.
Okay.
Did you unplug it? All right, as far as, smoke alarms installed, we had 141 installed or distributed this year, that tracks with last year. CO alarms were 37, we're down slightly, but, we deliver only one of those per every household when requested.
Try it one more time.
We did 24 pre-incident walkthroughs. This is when our crews go out and visit local businesses. We get everybody in there to learn the layouts and the hazards of the buildings. We're on track to probably double that this year. We're making an effort to get out more into the community, see what is in the businesses, make sure the hazards are known so everyone's safer. We had 4 school visits this year. 2 school groups came out to the department to visit us. We had our annual trunk and treat with the police department, and other city officials came out. Everyone had a great time. We had beautiful weather that night. Their open house touch a truck event, we had our DPS came out and got to show off all their trucks. Okay, as far as responses for last year, 2024, we had 865 responses. This included 14 structure fires, 9 vehicle fires, 99 careless cooks, 36 other fires, 68 reports of wires down, and 38 car accidents. We rendered aid to Detroit 240 times, to Highland Park 49. We received aid from Detroit 35 times, and aid received from Highland Park was 18. A big part of our job, along with the CRR and responses, is training and education. We have two probationary firefighters currently, so we spend a lot of our time training them, getting them up to speed, going through firefighter operations. We were fortunate enough to do live fire training at Detroit's Regional Training Center. We did this back in October. It was a big success for the guys. We're gonna get scheduled to get back out there again. We've been working through our EMS recertification. All members of the fire department are a basic EMT or a paramedic, so we have that certification. We do our administrative training every year, which is required by law. We did some ladder training and ventilation training with the structure right here before the city demolished it. It's a great opportunity for our guys. This is a skill that you don't get to do very often, is actual get on a roof live, cut, and do the skills that you would do normally in a ideal H atmosphere. These guys got to do it in a safe and practice their techniques, which was a phenomenal opportunity for us. As always, we have our driver and pump training. This is continuous through the year. All of our drivers have to meet a certain standard of training every year, and they have to have so many driving hours. We do our extrication training. This is some of the video or pictures from us. We combine training with equipment evaluation. We're looking to purchase new equipment and upgrade what we have, and we use that as an opportunity to get some training for our guys. Forcible entry training. We were fortunate to purchase this with the police department last year. We did some training. We had Rise Above training came in and did a class on forcible entry over 2 days for us. And we also used the new DPS building that they're gonna be going through. We used it for our opportunities and did some search training in there. This year we were able to purchase 5 sets of turnout gear, which is a coat and pants for our firefighters. The cost for each set is approximately $3,500. That was budgeted for. Then last year we received a grant for 12 sets of turnout gear, which are ordered. They should be here shortly. We received a second grant to receive 24 sets of turnout gear, which will give our firefighters 2 sets of gear for the first time ever. That is the industry standard. That way, if anything happens to their gear, gets wet during the winter or becomes contaminated with blood, they have a second set of gear to use. We also we had budgeted for 2 SCBA harnesses, 2 cylinders, and 10 masks. We made the purchase here, and as part of that grant, we were able to purchase 4 additional harnesses, 10 SCBA cylinders, and 10 SCBA masks. So what this has given us is the opportunity to give all of our members new masks this year. It's very important. They get beat up pretty bad in a fire, and it was great that we were able to replace all these this year. We're also doing an ongoing evaluation, like I said, to replace our extrication equipment. And we have several grant opportunities out to purchase some new radios for the department. As far as apparatus and maintenance costs, this year we had two major expenditures in that area. The repair for our aerial, we needed a new swivel, so it was down at Sutphen for 8 months while they had to remanufacture the part. And then unfortunately, we had to put a new engine in one of our pumpers. So that kind of inflated our costs this year for maintenance. Hopefully, we're back on track. And then we have placed the order for the new pumper. We received the special grant from the state of Michigan, which is allowing us to make this purchase. We have our pre-build meeting scheduled for February 18th. We should see the rig in about 26 months. I talked to the rep today. He's hoping they're pushing a little closer, so hopefully that'll be moved up a little bit. We'll get it sooner than that, maybe by a month or two, but we'll take what we can get there. EMS, we are now licensed and equipped to provide medical first responder service with our engines. We began doing this service in December. We did some training with AmeriPro. So currently, the plan is we are backing up AmeriPro, and we are making sure that there aren't extended response times. If they're tied up on another run, or if they need assistance, our engines are going out and helping. So that's rolled out. So far, it hasn't been too busy, but it's good. Since AmeriPro made the switch over to the new company, they've been pretty good with response times, and they have more rigs on the street, so that's helpful for us. For our hydrants, we do 3 things going on with those: annual inspections, hydrant paintings, and hydrant cap coating. The coating is, we're doing that to develop a system to rapidly identify where the water mains are, or what the color corresponds to the size of the water main. So the larger the main, the different colors we know. With all the work going on in the city, this is gonna be an ongoing process for us. We need to update our numbering system. We have to do a lot of stuff there. GM Cares did come in. They painted about 200 hydrants for us this summer. It was a great success. Hopefully they're gonna come back this year, do some more work for us. We have run into some snags with the fire hydrants with all the construction in town. It's made it challenging. We do have a lot of new hydrants going in and new water mains going in, so at the end of all the construction, we are gonna be in a much better place as far as water supply throughout the entire city. So we're working through it. We're staying with it with the DPW. We're making sure the hydrants are in service. We're making sure everything's good, and we'll continue to do so in the next year. Lastly, we talked a little bit about emergency management. We began doing some training with Michigan State Police and Wayne County Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. We've been updating the Hamtramck Emergency Operating Plan, developing our continuity of operations plan, and our continuity of government plan. We met with Detroit and Wayne County Homeland Security. We're starting to build some relationships with them, meeting everybody, just trying to get more involved in what's going on in our region. We attend the quarterly meetings for Homeland Security. We participated in Wayne County's preparedness plan update. What this does is gets us, if a major disaster were to hit the city, we're part of the plan, so we would be included and ready to receive federal funding if needed. And we participated in a tabletop exercise in Plant Zero. Any questions?
Yes, harness.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you have anybody do the inspection, or we do internally?
We do, for our SCBA harnesses, they're inspected and flow tested annually. So we have a company that comes out, flow tests them, and certifies them every year.
Okay.
Yep. Any other questions?
If we keep doing free fire alarm for the people,
Yes, we have free smoke alarms and CO alarms available at the fire department. If anyone needs them, just contact us and we'll come out and install them for you.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, now we move to the additions and deletions. Do we have any?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
I want to bring a motion to add to agenda rise for city manager city manager's salary in the amount of 15%.
Second,
All right, can we vote on adding this to the agenda?
Yes, Councilman Hassan,
yes.
Councilman Samiri,
No.
Councilman Sedman,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai,
No.
Councilman Mahmoud.
So you're bringing this for discussion or?
No, we're voting.
To bring it on the agenda.
To add
Oh,
to
I'm
the-
sorry, to put it
Bring
on
to the agenda, yes.
We
Yes.
still can discuss.
Councilman Musa.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I will be adding resolution 2025-13, to increase city manager's salary by 15% to new business E.
All right, so,
I'd like to make the motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye. I mean, Mayor has to
Mr.
say
Mayor?
that.
Mr. Mayor, do you want to ask if they're all in favor?
is there any opposed to this?
Opposed.
One? Any? Just one, okay.
No,
So,
two. Councilman Al Samiri and Councilman Rafai.
all right, so,
So it does go onto the agenda,
all right,
so the agenda is approved.
all right, so, we'll discuss that when we get there. And so we move to the public comments now.
Thank you. Abraham Eljahan?
Good evening, everyone. In the past 3 or 4 council meetings, I've been bothered by the emails sent about residency. So the city gave you guys phones. I don't know why the city don't have tell you guys open your location on your phone, and they know who lives in the city and who doesn't. And also, I would like the council and mayor to do a resolution regarding the emails. People that send fake emails, do a resolution to make sure the phone number, the address, and the name, and the clerk has to verify if the email is fake or not. Second point, vacation. I would like to know who paid for Chief Tahiri's vacation and the mayor and the 3 councils that went to Washington. Can I get an answer, please? Was it city paid or was it personal? For the mayor, the chief, and the council members. No answer?
You can answer.
So there was a trip to Washington that the city did cover for the elected officials. The chief did not attend that, but that was a sponsored trip.
Okay, the chief's trip to Kuwait, did the city pay for it or he paid for it?
That was not in the city funds.
So he paid for his own?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. And 6, the third point, I had 6, but I took off 3. I would like to congratulate our Honorable Senator Alyssa Slotkins and Congressman Shri Tanadar and State Rep Tanya Myers Phillips, also our Wayne County Commissioner Martha Giscard on their win the past election. Today, as we heard from the news, Senator Gary Peters, he won't seek re-election in 2026. We thank him for his service since 2014. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Mr. Bill Meyer?
Hello, everyone. Just when I thought I didn't have to come to council meetings anymore, I watched the last meeting 2 weeks ago, and it was shocking. It was a really despicable display of animosity between fellow workers, between council members. This sort of stuff doesn't help the city. You have business to do. You have to work together. And there's several things that went wrong at the last meeting. I hope you can avoid that in the future. Adding last-minute items to the agenda that are going to cause controversy like that should be dealt with ahead of time and discussed among council members to decide if you want to put it on the agenda, not public. Many things should be done in a closed meeting, especially when you get into personal stuff like you did at the last meeting. There were personal attacks on people, especially the city manager and a few of the council members. Unsubstantiated statements, not proven. You can't just throw out stuff without facts. this sort of stuff creates gossip in the city and tarnishes our image. I mean, this city's been running very smoothly for a long time. I mean, that's why I stopped coming, because I'm so thrilled at how everything's working. I didn't know there's all this stuff going on underneath the top level here, that this is animosity between people in their communities. I guess it's not to be not expected. You have personal lives and you relate to each other outside of government. But you shouldn't bring that to government meetings. And the last council meeting was just horrible. We have a journalist, we have like a yellow journalist here in town with this newspaper who just loves sensationalism and loves exaggerating what's happening. We gotta avoid feeding the paper with this sort of stuff, or anybody else, or the public. I think Max is doing a great job, first of all, and I don't know if there's gonna be challenges against it. I think the whole council should come out and have an open address, and he should be able to defend himself. I happen to be thrilled with the way these meetings have been going up till last time. And the fact that he brings all the department heads here and they answer the questions, and things are going well, and seems to be a great working environment here in the building. And I think what's happening is personalities, personal problems, personal arguments we've had in our own communities have gotten in the way. We've got to really think about that twice. I do think Khalil is good to be moved into this position to be possible mayor in the event that we lost our mayor, and I think that's one of the reasons we had problems at the last meeting, because everyone thought we're going to panic here and we're going to lose our mayor, who's a shining example of how our mayors should be.
Thanks, Bill.
Can I get another minute?
Yes, you can.
Our mayor is skilled tremendously at this sort of stuff, of steering something like a sinking ship last meeting and steered us through the rough waters and got us out of the meeting alive. He understands the purpose of unity, of working together. That's the only way the city's gonna go forward. You have to work together. You can't accusing each other of personal stuff. Keep your personal stuff out of public meetings if you can. Sleeping in a meeting, I don't think is as serious as someone who doesn't read all the documents that are supposed to be read for meetings and shows up with some sort of questions, some sort of answers, and starts contributing to the discussion and coming up with developing the best thing for the city. I think just coming and sitting at a meeting and not doing anything is not really what we elected officials for.
Thanks, Bill.
So that's it. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Oh, I do want to thank Greg for taking videos. We got nice videos of our council meetings. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Abdul Latif?
خبر عربي.
You can speak in Arabic and I'll translate.
السلام عليكم
عليكم
ورحمة
السلام.
الله وبركاته. مساء. معايا أنا أسعدتم مساء. معايا البنتين العريس في جانب البيت حقي. اتصلت للمرور يقول لي روح على التموين. نزلت ولا الدي بي اس، أعطيتني ورقة وعبيتها على ما أعطتني، وقالت لي قد يعني جاء الموضوع على يعني قد وصلنا عندهم. الآن يعني الأرصفة حقيقة دي مفجورة من السيارات ودي صلح الطرقات. زاد قاعد يصلح الشركة دي صلح الطرقات. أول عندما صلحها بالآلي كانت تجيب المخلفات إلى العرصة. قلنا مش مشكلة يعني، لأنه إحنا نشتري مصالح، نشتري عين بنين يعني. بعدين بالأخير غرفوا منها التراب يعني، وطوا يعني عليها التراب. قلنا مش مشكلة. صلح الطرقات والمياه الآن مع بالشارع نفسه. أجا طرح عند البروف، طرح بزي تراب، طرح من الشارع لا فوق لا جنب العرسة، علشان توقع خداير يعني الطريق وللسيارات يوقفين. وعندي البروف سعادة هذه. وشكرا. بدك ارويك الصور موجوده.
قصدك انه الناس اللي يبركوا بحقوق العرسه الارضيه؟
الناس والشركه، اول ما بركها هي الشركه وخربت الشركه، والان يعني الناس كلهم يعني بها. واذا بدك تشوف الموجودات عندي الصور اللي اخذتوها كيف كانت يعني، والان حق البيسمنت قد موضح. وهذا من حين اخذته اول.
Okay, thank you.
ولكن جزيل الشكر.
So he's talking about his two empty lots around his house that were used by the construction company when they were fixing the street. And he was like, okay with that. They messed up the lot, but he was okay because it's the city, for the benefit of the city. But now his neighbors starting parking on his lots, and he can't prevent them. He called the police, and they told him call the towing company or something. So what's the rule for the city when his neighbors are using his property to park his street? Because I know they give a warning for Dr. Samir because somebody else is using his empty lot. So what is the rule in that?
Unfortunately, it's pretty much put on the homeowner at that point. I mean, they're supposed to secure the lot so it doesn't happen. The city's really only recourse is to correct the homeowner for it. I would suggest maybe rocks or maybe get a permit for a small fence to put around it. But sometimes just landscaping rocks is enough to deter cars from doing it. Maybe some signs that, will be towed if you park here, would be helpful. And just keep close contact with our PD. Our PD definitely can at least come out and try to intervene and talk to the neighbors to say, hey, get out of here, or figure out which neighbor it is, but that's assuming it comes back to, a registered house there. If it's a plate out of the city, their hands might be a little tied.
It doesn't cost any money to get it. It doesn't cost the person calling to have it towed any money either. So if he called the tow company and say, come tow this car, he's illegally parked, the person that's illegally parked is gonna end up having to pay the tow fines to get it, so that's how they'll get it back.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I seen him, he came to the city hall, and he complained about his lot. So I told him to come here to city council and complain in front of all of us. His issue is not about his neighbors. His issue is that the company that's doing Goodson messed up his lot, where now it's all muddy and it's messed up. So he doesn't have issues with his neighbors. He has an issue with the company who used his lot without his permission, messed up his lot. So he wants them to fix it back the way it was.
But he mentioned also that his neighbors are refusing to stop parking in his empty lot. And he was told here in the city hall that you can only call the towing company to take care of them. So either way, can the construction company that messed up the lot fix it the way it was?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if the construction company did indeed do that. Go ahead.
This was brought to my attention last week, and I did call and leave a message for him to give me a call back. The city will restore the lot. We were planning on that. When it was brought to my attention that they did that, I said, then we have to put that lot back. We got to plant grass, to straw, whatever we have to do. I did call and leave a message. I did not get a call back yet, but maybe it's because of the language. Barry, if you can get in touch with me tomorrow, we'll make sure that it's done right.
But my question is, if the guy owns a lot, how did this company use his lot without his permission? And then second, why are cities gonna pay to fix the lot? What's the company's issue?
Well,
We didn't say they wouldn't pay for it.
right.
Well, he's saying the city's gonna pay for it.
Well, it'll get restored. I mean, whether or not the city actually pays for it or they pay for it, I mean, semantics. I mean, we're certainly going to tell them to fix it if they did it. We're not gonna incur a cost for something they did, but, they're working under the color of the city, so when we say the city's gonna fix it, we're just gonna handle it.
Well, it needs to be cleared who's gonna fix it. So you
Well,
don't say we're gonna
yeah,
fix
so-
it,
So
and then you have the company fix it.
هيصلحوا لك حقك الأرضي بيردوا على مكانه تواصل أنت وجان وهيصلحوها. بالنسبة لأي واحد يبرك بحقك الأرضي تتصل يسحبوها على حسابهم، تأدبهم أنت، مالك دخل بالموضوع. إذا حد البوليس كان انترفين، بس خلهم يسحبوا عليه السيارة ويجزع. اتصل أي توين كومباني بزوها وخلاص.
And Mayor, I'm sure the police department would be happy to come out too and try to figure out which neighbors are doing it and maybe just talk to them rather than tow it. I mean, if he wants to interface with the chief before he leaves, I'm sure the
تحدث
chief
مع
can direct him
الشيف
to one of the
والبوليس
sergeants.
هيساعدك في الموضوع. Okay.
I have his address.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next person.
Abdul Malik Al-Zahim.
عليكم السلام.
I'm here to address the resolution that was passed last meeting in regards to the alley for Roosevelt and Gibson by Sumeri, Councilman Sumeri. And a few things. One, I understand that there's a lot of alleys that require a lot of work, and I am with that, and hopefully we get to all of them. But one thing is the Roosevelt Alley and the Goodson Alley are the main alleys that are accessible to our parks, where our kids, our family, go to. They're pretty unsafe to walk even on them. Not even, driving is okay, but you're messing up your car. But even walking on them is really dangerous for little kids. Second of all, it's downtown Hamtramck. This is where DCFC, where we get, outsiders coming to our city and walk through those alleys to get into the parks. Don't we want to attract other from, coming to our city looking beautiful and stuff? So, third, thing is that I'd like to address is I've complained about this issue as a resident since 2020. I had some sewer done behind my house in Roosevelt, and I pulled permit and all that, and got the work done, but the contractors never finished the work to where they paved the alley. So there's a big, hole in the alley behind my house. Emailed the city, addressed it with them. Mac's been really cooperative working with me and getting DPS out there to patch these holes and stuff, but they only last so long. Why is the city doing the work? Why can't we get the contractors to come back and do the work? I just don't understand, I've been patient. Is 4 years enough of waiting? If it's, the resident have a ticket, they're gonna fix it, they're gonna find a way to fix it, or you're gonna get fined. But us residents, we gotta wait. How long do we gotta wait? It's 4 years. We had the opportunity, that resolution was brought up, that could have been taken care of. And like I said, the main points, downtown Hamtramck, that's right there where outsiders come in. And at the same time, accessible to our parks. Both to the renovated baseball field and to Keyworth Stadium as well, and to the basketball field. So I'm asking, Honorable Mayor, Councilmen, if you can please reconsider, maybe re-motioning, and try to bring that resolution back and vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the agenda today is the approval of the 1.5 million earmark from the state of Michigan. My hope was that the subcommittee would, consisting of Councilman Rafai, Samiri, and Musa, would meet here hopefully in the next week or so to try and hash out exactly which alleys we're gonna do with that 1.5. We do have another one on the horizon too that we're anticipating getting. So I'm optimistic that we're going to get most of the alleys that the councilmen have signaled. Maybe not all of them, but most of them, and we can see what we can do, and then obviously we'll work. Those alleys that the gentleman pointed out are actually on those lists already. So I'm very optimistic that within, maybe not this year, but pretty soon, those will happen.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Not really. Not really, sorry.
Maybe after, you can communicate with Max.
Derek Hall, Hal, did you wanna speak now? You have marked at the end of the meeting. Did you wanna, come on up. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening to City Council and the Mayor and all the department heads. My name is Derek Hill. I'm a legislative assistant to Commissioner Martha G. Scott. And I've been to a number of meetings, but I just wanted to introduce myself to you. If there's anything that the commissioner can do for the city of Hamtramck or its residents, please feel free to contact our office at 313-224-0878. And then also yesterday, we had a very successful coffee hour at the Main Street restaurant. And the commissioner has those coffee hours every month in Hamtramck at Main Street. And I would like to invite everyone here or council to come. And we have our next coffee hour on February the 24th at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. over at the Main Street restaurant. So I'd love to, if you have any concerns or issues related to, county government, I'd love to see you there and have some breakfast with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Max,
Sorry, we
can you
have-
make sure that mic is on? Is it? Why we don't?
I have one email from Charles Blackwell. Good evening, Hamtramckans. Mayor Gallup should face public criticism for ICE raids that occur in Hamtramck. Mayor Gallup fully endorsed and supports President Trump's cruel and unusual immigration policies. And then I did get an email from Angela Gonzalez regarding the parking meters. I just want to make it public notice that we do have the town hall meeting on Tuesday, so if she wants to take her comment there. I don't know if she missed in the beginning of the meeting, but I wanted to make a note of that again, so if anybody has any comments in regards to public meters, or parking meters, next Tuesday here at 6 o'clock.
I believe that one came after the deadline.
Correct, yes, it came after the deadline, but I just wanted to point that out. And that's all for public comment.
All right, thank you.
They got one more.
You can wait until we do the report, maybe.
They got one more.
Yeah. And just, I just want to address Ibrahim's question. So we were invited as state officials to the inauguration. So we represent the city when we go there. Last year, we were invited to the White House during Biden administration as elected officials as well. All of us here, except Councilman Khalil wasn't, he was overseas. And the same thing happened. Every time the council, the elected officials go to a meeting, MML meeting or something, or a conference, the city pays for them. I have been avoiding all these meetings and conferences to save money for the city. I never went to any of them, except maybe one in the first year, because I found that they are not very productive. I can learn on my own more than attending and wasting time there. So I save the city a lot of money when I don't go, for the hotel, for the trip, for the course. We don't get paid on vacations like the chief gets, you know, or the city manager. So we get like every city council member get $240 a month, and you still want them to pay for these events and stuff. That's not fair. And when we ask for raise for the city elected officials, the residents did not approve it for them. So that's why we can't find people running for the city council, because it's a waste of their time. And I mean, unless you are really passionate about serving the people, you will come and sacrifice your time. I personally don't care about the raise. I make enough money in my job. I actually took 2 days off since I became the mayor from working at the clinic. So I'm losing money to serve the people. I could have afforded my own trip and hotel, but maybe others couldn't. Or, you know, so that, just to clarify, we were thinking about making the mayor full-time in the city council here, so we can really, you know, utilize our skills and time to serve the people. Because at this time, the way we do it, we are busy with our full-time jobs, and we cannot utilize all our times and skills to serve the city the way it should be. I mean, we're doing our best, but we can't. I mean, I have a lot to offer to the city, but unfortunately, I'm busy with my job at the clinic, and I can't, you know, use all my time and skills to serve the city. And if I leave my job, I'll end up in the street, you know, not being able to pay my bills. But hopefully, something can be done about recruiting some qualified people to run for positions here, because we really can't find some people. It's very hard to find someone with integrity and commitment to serve the people. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know if I'm leaving or not at this point, but it's very hard to find people running for this position at this time. I know you announced to run, maybe.
If you leave.
We'll see. Hopefully, we'll hear something over the next month. So that's just to clarify this point. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor.
With that, we move to the consent agenda, and this is approved in a single motion with no discussion. We have the first one, approval of minutes from the January 14, 2025 regular city council meeting. B, approval of invoice register date ending January 28, 2025. C, approval of pre-approved expenditure date ending January 28, 2025.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No objections?
No.
All right, thank you. And with that, we move to the new business, and we have the first resolution, 2025-09, acceptance of grant between the State of Michigan's Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity and the City of Hamtramck.
Motion?
Second.
Mr. Mayor, this is an easy one. This is $800,000 that we received for the fire truck. It was by State Senator Stephanie Chang and Representative Ava Yash sponsored it. And this is simply the honorable body just accepting the money.
Any discussion, any question?
No, sir.
Go ahead and vote, please.
Councilman Hassan?
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri?
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud?
Yes.
Councilman Sedman?
Yes.
Councilman Musa?
Yes.
Councilman Rafai?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, resolution 2025-09 approved.
Thank you. The next one is resolution 2025-10 approving urban forestry program community partner bid award.
Motion?
Second.
Mr. Mayor, this is another aspect of that large grant we got for the trees. This is part of it, all grant funded, and Isabel's here to speak on it.
So this is the second of three contracts that we'll bring to you for approval after reviewing different bids. In this component, it covers the community education and engagement portion of this grant that we're required to roll out for the community as we're planting these trees. We want to teach people about the value of the trees, how to care for them, and get the community involved in planting, because we're taking resident requests and business requests if they want trees placed close to them. So the community partner is the bid award that we're recommending you approve tonight. The community partner is responsible for overseeing and carrying out the workshops for the community, the tree planting events, procuring some of the trees to be planted by youth and community members during those events, and also coordinating our community advisory board, which is going to take a look at the plan that the arborist creates for us about how to improve our tree canopy in the city. So we're gathering stakeholders for that, and they'll be working with the community partner and the contractor planting the trees as well. We received 2 bids for this award, both at the maximum cost allowed in our grant budget, and we're recommending to award this to Friends of the Rouge after review. They're a local entity that has a lot of experience with similar programs and tree planting initiatives in Dearborn and Redford that required a lot of community engagement. A ton of extensive education programming over about a 40-year span in Southeast Michigan, so we're confident they'll be a great partner for us. And I have a representative of Friends of the Rouge here as well. If you'd like to come up, I can introduce Ashley to you. And if you have any questions, we're happy to answer, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, hi, thank you so much. I'm Ashley Flintoff, I'm the Executive Director of Friends of the Rouge, and we are really, really excited at this opportunity. Like Isabel said, we've had a lot of success working with communities throughout the Rouge River watershed, especially in South Dearborn and in Redford, specifically with tree plantings and working with the local schools and houses of worship and community members to improve the urban canopy. And there's, I don't have to tell you the number of benefits of urban canopy it provides for the city. So happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. Where are you located, in Dearborn? Or
So our headquarters is in Plymouth, but we cover the entire Rouge River watershed, which is 48 communities. It's almost 500 square miles, so it branches across Wayne, Washtenaw, and Oakland County.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, Isabel, so why are you planting these trees? Do you have like pre-planned?
It's not pre-planned. That's the purpose of the arborist and the program coordinator position that you've approved the bid award for already. So they'll be doing a survey and inventory of all of the trees in the city to figure out where the gaps are in the canopy, actually just like where the tree cover is lacking. And then based on resident requests and business owner requests, they'll identify the appropriate type of tree to place in the appropriate place. So community engagement will be super important in that, and it's a good thing that we don't have a plan yet, because it'll be a better result moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
Diabetes and all.
Diabetes.
That means my time's up.
Okay, we can vote on that, please.
Councilman Musa?
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud?
I'm sorry, excuse me. Yes.
Councilman Hassan?
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri?
Yes.
Councilman Sedman?
Yes.
Councilman Rafai?
Yes.
Mr. Mr. Mayor, resolution 2025-10 approved.
Thank you. Resolution 2025-11 approving acceptance of the fiscal year 2025 state earmark for citywide alley and sidewalk repairs.
Motion? Second.
Mr. Mayor, this is another grant acceptance. This one primarily came from Representative Ayash with the assistance of Councilman Samiri, who made a trip to Lansing to get this. And this is 1.5 million that hopefully this honorable body can help us decide what's gonna get paved next. So it's a pretty easy pass on this one.
All right.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Councilman Hassan.
regarding Mr. Abdul Malik question, I maybe apply here. So subcommittee will decide based on safety, emergency, three couple of, very bad situation. All those things together, they will consider like a priority basis, number one, number two, number three, and it's come to the council and we approve it. So of course, they're gonna consider what you say about by the park, it looks our beauty and safety, people go there. Of course, they will think about it.
I also forgot one main point, it's the administration bill with us.
Can we wait
We'll
until,
wait to that.
maybe you should sign another card for the second round of public comment? Yeah, please.
The same
Thank you.
card.
I got it.
Oh, okay, yeah, you can just mark the second round, and then you can have up to 3 minutes to add.
Thank you.
Thank you. With
2 minutes.
that, I mean, I can add 1 minute for him, if he has a,
If you want,
he,
yeah.
he seems like he has a lot of
Mayor knows
comments.
already.
Okay. Okay. With that, I think we can vote, unless someone else has any comment.
Yeah, I guess by more question. Do you have subcommittee from 10 years till now for repair alley?
Mr. Chair, I can answer that question if you.
10 years, from 10 years, I working for alley for the whole city of Hamtramck, not a special location. Not special location, and I start from my ideal for that one. We did the whole Hamtramck, start Yusuf Cambo and Conan, Kenneth, Holbrook. We didn't have some subcommittee. Was the confused when we repair those? I don't know what happened.
Well, I think it's, I mean, at this point, I can see that they will get repaired, that they are a priority at this time. I don't think, the argument now between the city council members is whether we can include all the alleys that are added by them or not, with the amount of money that we have.
You still have,
So-
you still have enough for the amount, you still have it.
Yeah, that's good. So that means we will cover all the alleys. We are hoping that we can. It shouldn't be a problem, I think. I mean, I'm not adding any alleys, although there is a lot, but I know we can't cover all of them. I was advocating for the commercial alleys more than residential. But these two, I can see they are a priority, as you say. The visitors use them, the kids next to the park. So I don't think they should be a problem. I mean, but maybe the reason we have the committee is because there is disagreement about, which alley should be repaired.
Somebody, excuse me, somebody they open the confused. Somebody they open the confused with the community. I have to do this and this. Before they didn't have. We're gonna rate that one, that's a go get it. Still inside in Hamtramck. Somebody they open the confused inside.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead.
I will say that Councilman Samiri has been championing alleys for a long time, there's no question there. He's kind of been in that corner, that's kind of been one of his campaign things, he's been doing it. And there are other councilmen that have some concerns on some other alleys, they like to get in the mix, but at the end of the day, we're gonna do our best to get them all done. We do have more grant money coming, we're always applying for more, we're always, going to the feds and the state and seeing what we can do and be creative, but, I mean, if we don't get them all done in one swipe, at some point we're gonna, and it's not gonna be in the distant future, hopefully it'll be in the near future, but we're gonna try and get everything Councilman Samiri wants, everything Councilman Rafai wants, everything Councilman Musa, because of the subcommittee, and then all the other needs, and hopefully we'll get it all done, so.
When we did the other one before, do you have some confused before? The whole Yusuf Cambo? the whole Conan and Kinnear and Holbrook. Do you have some confused from the councillor or the community? Nobody. I write down to do this and this and this still inside the Hamtramck. When we did in the south or the north, west side and the east side, still inside the Hamtramck.
So, Mr. Mayor, I recommend to subcommittee should make a visit to the whole city and look at the alleys instead of getting their own preference and see which one is more important and make a combination of business and residents because we have to prioritize our business alleys too. They need
True.
it.
I agree. I mean, this shouldn't be a one-person decision. I mean, we have to take input from all the council members. I mean, I know that Councilman Sumeri prioritizing this for a long time. We appreciate that, and that's why I'm saying your alleys would be a priority. But it doesn't mean that we should ignore everybody else's input or concern. But I'm sure we can reach an agreement and a common ground to get things done. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Councilman Hassan.
before final approval, it's come to the council meeting anyway. So that time, no matter what, we can vote for it. So board will decide which alley is going there. So I agree with Mr. Mohit Mahmood also. And Mr. Sumari fight for to bring those monies. Thank you. But like Mohit Mahmood said the other day, Councilman Abu Musa also said some of the alleys are very bad. So that will go together, look for all the alleys, what alleys named to us, and that will bring to the priority to us. And we could be agree, we could be disagree.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Councilman Sedman,
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2025 has been approved.
Thank you. Next one is Resolution 2025-12A, approving first reading and setting the date for the public hearing and second reading of Hamtramck zoning ordinance text amendment, Chapter 155.
Motion?
Second.
Mr. Mayor, as you're aware, these are zoning amendments in simply the first reading. I have Isabel here to speak more to the recommendations.
Hello again. So for the past several months, CED's been discussing with the Planning Commission and the Building Department these revisions to the zoning ordinance that we're happy to present tonight. This is, again, the first reading, and your resolution that we're recommending you make will set a public hearing and the second reading for the first council meeting next month. I'm going to talk through the first proposed change first and then take questions about that, and then the second one afterwards, and any questions there as well. So the first one is regarding this 90% facade building material requirement in our commercial districts. It sets, as of now, 5 materials that have to make up the vast majority of what the front of people's buildings look like. And there aren't a ton of options there, it's only 5. And part of our job is to review the plans that the building department receives to see and make sure that the building materials used are what they're supposed to be using, and that they're long-lasting and good for our buildings. But we also encountered quite a bit this past year instances where property owners were unable to afford certain materials or other materials weren't available. So we did a survey of 10 different communities of our approximate same size to see what materials they were using. And we ended up, after discussion with the Planning Commission, bringing 7 new materials here, all options recommended to us again by a contracted planner. And so we ask for you to vote to bring those changes to a second reading. And if anyone has questions about the building materials themselves specifically, I can answer those as well.
No questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So then, the second one, the second change is not in commercial but in residential districts. We get a lot of requests before the Zoning Board of Appeals from folks who want to either expand their home into their backyard further, which encroaches on that rear setback. That's the limit or the amount of feet that you can have between the back wall of your house and the alley. And we know that we're a really dense city, and we also have to figure out how to promote density and development responsibly and limit flooding as much as we can. So building, John Janjos specifically, and I thank him for coming to the Planning Commission and talking with us about this, talked about different impacts that increasing lot coverage and like the size of these homes could have on runoff and sewer, and different stormwater concerns for flooding. And we reached this recommendation, which the Planning Commission accepted and brings to you today, to allow residents to expand their homes an additional 10 feet at the back, so 20 feet setback, about a 75% lot coverage. And they can go an additional 5 feet and have a 15-foot setback if, in working with the building department, they remove some concrete that might be causing more runoff and flooding in their backyard, or implement other water retention measures to try to capture water so it doesn't flood as much. A number of different options. So we think that this is something that the residents will appreciate, but also we're doing it in a way that is safe and takes into consideration the flood prevention efforts that we really need to. So I welcome your questions about that as well.
Any questions? No. All right, I think we can vote on that.
Councilman Al Samiri.
Yes.
Councilman Musa.
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud.
Yes.
Councilman Sidman.
Yes.
Councilman Hassan.
Yes.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, resolution 2025-12A approved.
Thank you. The next one is the one that was added by Councilman Sadman to resolution would be 2025-13 to add resolution to increase city manager's pay by 15%.
Offer.
Second? Any second?
Second.
Okay, so we move to discussion.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes, go ahead.
So I kind of favor of this resolution. There is the couple of reasons. We had a discussion with the city manager, what you guys heard last council meeting, what I said. When you have done in common sense law performance review, after performance review, couple of things you have to do. Either you have to counseling, or you have to take the action, or you have to give the raise. That is the common sense law, and that is the law follow everywhere in the organization. Same thing is happening my organization. So we are public servant. After discussion, I brought the resolution for suspension. It's not only alone my decision. I don't want to say more than that. So it did not go past. And I have lots of call came from Arab community asking the question because they know me from 2000. I was answering those questions. Again, we are public servant. Maybe I am thinking the person is not doing the good job. Some other side resident may be seeing is doing good job or okay or improvement. One of the public comment also came here, he's doing good job. I could be wrong too. So I consider those things because I have to listen to my residents. The other reason also, if I compare salary of the city manager, not max, salary of the Hamtramck city manager is less than school board superintendent, a lot less than that. And also is the senior citizen plaza appointed director, his salary is higher than our city manager. So inflation rate, all everything, and before we hire Max Gavrino, we put in the Michigan Municipal League newspaper every hire advertisement. There is the one was interested to come, and me and Sumari, councilman, we made and don't want to come. So there is the couple of reasons that told us your salary is very low. So the other hand, one of the complaint about the city manager not coming on time. Here is my thought. I'm thinking, if with this pay to survive, somebody have to do the second job. Maybe to survive, second job cannot give the extra time here. So if we raise very close to the other department, like a school board, any other city, very close to that, maybe that person don't have to do another job, come on time, or pay the full attention to the Hamtramck city. And also, in case, if we let our city manager go, if we go that advertisement, again, if his salary is not that up to there, and nobody gonna apply it. So you're not gonna get, hypothetically, not even good city manager. So all those consideration, I'm supporting this resolution. Mr. Satman brought to like a 15%. It's not the final decision, we can discuss. And no matter what, we have to give the city manager raise because by contract. Contract has the percentage, that's why he brought it maybe, very low percentage. So we can go in somewhere in the middle, or if everybody agree, we can go up to 15%. So due to that, I'm supporting this resolution. This is, that is the description, explanation I have up to now. Maybe later on, if any more description or explanation need to be done. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Hassan. Well, one thing that I want to clarify, I mean, I have no doubt that the city manager deserves a raise. But the way the process you are doing it, in the last meeting you wanted to fire the city manager. Now you come up with a raise, it's your resolution, I know that, it's not Sadman's resolution. So you make us look like a bunch of clowns running the city. What should we tell the public when you give them unacceptable in your evaluation, and then you wanted to fire him, and now you come because you are mad at your city council members that didn't support your resolution, you come to, we need to run the city in a logical, professional way, not, you guys spend 95 time of talking to each other about your own problems, about constant conflicts with each other, and you talk about the interests of the city, of the residents, only 5% of the time. And that's makes me, I am in support of giving him a raise, but not through the games you are doing. I mean, I'm sorry to say that. Let me finish, please. Yeah. You were ready, I begged you last time not to suspend Max. Didn't I? When you told me a few minutes before the meeting? You agree with that? No, you said 2 weeks. I told you, please. 2
hours ago.
No. You told me before the meeting.
So, Mr. Chair, it is not personal discussion.
Don't interrupt me, please. Let me finish.
Mr. Attorney,
let me finish.
He did not mention my name. Criticize cannot be.
Let me finish.
Criticize cannot be. Talk about the resolution.
I'm talking about the resolution.
Criticize. You are the one leading.
Let me finish. Don't interrupt me. The way you are running the city, doing things is not the appropriate way. Now, you are mad at 3 city council because they didn't support you. You went 180 degree to the opposite side, saying, okay, I'm not going to fire him, but I'm going to give him raise so I can piss the other people. I am in favor of giving him raise, but not through these games that you are doing. I'm sorry, we need to serve the people in in an appropriate way. I told you, we spend 90% of the time talking about our own problems here. and only 5 or 10% about the city problems. And that pissed me off too, because we are wasting our time, not not putting the interest of the residents first. So again, I'm the only one who gave him a reasonable evaluation. And I know it's minor issues that he needed to improve in, like attendance and other stuff. There's no major issues, I know that. But I need to be consistent in our resolutions and what we do. So I am in support of giving him a raise, but not the way you are doing it, Councilman Hassan. That's my only concern.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Okay.
You already used 5 minutes, but go ahead for a couple.
Oh, that's why I said. So, resolution I request through system. This is the council meeting. Council member has the right to bring the resolution. You decline. I try to bring the proper resolution, you decline. After you decline, it came to this way.
Why didn't you ask me last meeting to add the resolution?
No, it cannot be.
You chose to bring
Mr.
it
Chair,
to
Mr.
surprise
Chair,
us with it.
Mr. Chair.
You chose to surprise us with
Mr.
it.
Chair, please, before Friday, anybody can bring any resolution.
I know, I refused. I meant to
So
refuse it
again,
because,
you mentioning me, agree, I angry with the other council member. There was not angry. There is the process you have to follow. Either you suspend, I suspend with the pay. With the pay to correct him. I'm not saying he's 100% good.
You said you gave him 30 days, he didn't improve even.
He did improve.
He
Let me
did. You
explain.
said he did not last time.
Not-
And that's
not-
why you suspended
No,
him.
he did. Go ahead, video. He did improve.
Well, I believe he did improve, but
why
you
you
said
are
it
the
last
one
time.
is the making problem. If you want to do give him rest, go ahead, you bring the resolution. We'll support you.
I will do it, not in your way, not
Well,
in your game.
It's gonna be the
No.
maybe my way very soon.
No, not through
Okay.
your games.
Mr. Chair,
Thank
Go
you.
ahead, Councilman Rafai.
if you don't mind, Mr. Chair, I would like to amend this resolution and change a percentage on whatever it's on that contract. So, Mr. City Attorney, can you tell us what's on that contract to give him a raise? What percentage is it?
Sorry, it's 5%, I believe. It's between 3 and 5%. 3.
And then I want to amend
I think
this,
it's between 3 and 5. I think it's up to you guys.
3 to 5.
I want to amend this resolution to 3%. Whatever it's on the contract to give him a raise. Can I get a second?
Second.
Mr. Chair.
We need to vote on the
No, they
amendment.
can discuss it.
Oh, we can discuss, okay, go ahead.
So 3% raise. I just wanna give you guys little bit. Okay, so you guys not bringing no action, nothing. We all agree to give him raise. It's okay. That's all I'm saying.
So the 3% is automatic. I'm just
Automatic. That's why I'm saying I'm going there.
I think that's why I said 3.
Yeah, 3% is, he don't have to come to us. According to the contract, he can tell the finance director and pay already a start. It is auto. So to bring the higher, that is the one came to here. It's not that we are given 15%. Bring the discussion to go and talk about it. I think 3% is not fair, Mr. Councilman.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead,
Mayor,
Councilman.
please, thank you. So during the, excuse me, because of the inflation, I understand many companies giving raise to their, CEOs or whatever. 3% is the automatic raise that I understand is in a contract. But we gotta be just fair and, just minimize the argument among ourselves. We have to look at our city. We are about to losing our $4.4 million a year from the jail. We're not planning to extend our parking meter contract anymore. So there is a $200,000 to lose every year. What are we gonna come up with this money? And city manager, when he get this job, he knows which city he's getting the job. It's not a one of the city, it's not a Birmingham, it's not a Starling Heights, or it's not a Troy or Warren, it's a big city, big income sources. So I would like to amend it to this 5%, if it's okay, little above 3%. We still appreciate his job, and thus minimize this issue.
So are you saying add 2%
Two more
to
percent,
the
yes.
automatic 3, making it 5.
5%, yes.
Yeah, it's fine.
But first, we need to vote on the 3%.
Well,
3% already.
Motion again.
That's true, she's right.
Mr. Chair,
We need
well,
to,
hold
I'm
on.
sorry, we need to finish the 3%, vote on it.
Well, I didn't say 3%. I said whatever the contract is.
Yeah,
So if
he
it's
did.
3%, like I said, we can give him 5%.
I mean,
Whatever
we
the
can,
contract
We
is,
can amend
that's what I
his-
want to
we
do.
can amend his motion.
we can
Mr. Chair.
still,
Something then, if the contract says 3 to 5, who decides on 3 or 5?
It's a 3.
The extra shoes.
Well, let's
that's the
first
same, they
hear,
can make a
the-
choice on.
let's hear the input of the other council members and then decide, finalize our decision. Councilman Abu Musa, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, to give me the opportunity. And thank you, Councilman Sadman, to bring this resolution. At this moment, I just go back few days ago, when we put the survey for the city manager. Mr. Mayor was there, myself and few other councilmen was there. And our city attorney published his mark sheet or result sheet to every of those councilmen. I hope, now I feel proud myself. I was not unjust, I was not unfair, and I do best of my knowledge for the marks, whatever our city manager deserve it. And some clowning games happening, I do not go back behind these things, but I suggest our city manager working really hard, but he need to be improved whatever we suggested. And I'm watching, he's working with this for improvement. At this moment, Councilor Sadman bring the resolution, bring the proposal for 15%. It's a small town, 2.2 square mile. We don't have a big income, but we have a residential income there. Taxes there only. 15% we cannot afford it. And automatically we do the 3%, 3 to 3% for the increases. So my suggestion, at least we can meet middle of those. 15 and 3%, we can meet like 7-8%. This is a win-win situation. We do not hurt him real badly, and this is the much maybe this is the much we can afford this community and this city. We have my other colleague in discussion with this. Whatever we can conclude, I'm agree with this. But my proposal, 7 to 8%.
Well, I think.
Mr. Mayor, can I interrupt quick second? I think the review have done, that's anonymous. You should not talk about on the council meeting. Because review take by the attorney, he summarized, he sent it his report to the city manager, and he did his report to city officials. So we should not bring this to discussion in the council meeting, because that now we're saying who giving and what. I don't think this is appropriate to.
No, I mean, maybe he's talking about himself, but as long as you don't talk about the others, and at the same time, because we see some contradiction and some, conflict about the evaluation and the outcomes of the evaluation, and that's not a reasonable thing. I mean, we have to be consistent.
Mr. Chair, just one moment. I'm so sorry, my colleague interrupted me to.
No,
Yeah,
that's only you.
everybody, all those 6 council, city manager, attorneys, mayor also get this email. And this the email make 3-4 councilmen together make the decision outside of the council meeting. This last council meeting does not come up from for one person's mind. Councilman Hassan already proposed, already discussed this. The proposal he bring it here, he's not alone with this proposal. A lot of people behind it. Mr. Mohit Mahmood, it is not appropriate you are telling me, but I'm this council at least 11, 12 years. I know what is appropriate, what is not appropriate. I hope you're going to learn from there also. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Well, guys.
If I could just mention that, just between the confusion between 3 and 5.
Yeah.
I looked at a previous one, drafted a contract that had 5, and the final contract has 3. That's where my confusion is. So it is 3.
Well, I personally I told you I'm in support of what, the city manager deserve a raise. And I think, I think my personal opinion is 3% is the automatic raise, and I think your suggestion, Councilman Musa is reasonable. It can be something. I think the city can afford an extra $3,000-4,000. I mean, it's not an issue. Just, I want everybody to walk out of this meeting happy, including the city manager. We don't want to approve something that's not gonna make him satisfied. I mean, I don't wanna approve something that's gonna make Councilman Hassan happy. So, we
It's
have,
not me.
yeah, we have to be reasonable and, you know, based on the resources that we have and what we can afford. So that's my opinion. I think we can meet halfway, like Councilman
Thank
Abu
you.
Musa said, maybe 7.5 or so.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, please, it is like you said, 3,000-4,000 is not that big, but it's made to him to more focus on and little happy. So 7.5, I think I can go for it. So matter of fact, my things, what I'm getting is more than that, but if you agree, everybody agrees 7.5?
I'll support 7.5 with Councilman
I was,
Hassan.
I asked, you know, for extension of time so I can negotiate for better than that, but you guys rushed and you wanted to get done this meeting, so I think
Anyways,
that's,
it's done, so
that's what we can do at this time, and hopefully, if we get more resources for the city from Washington DC, then we can add more.
We can add more later on, yeah.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes, Councilman.
Can we table this resolution? We need to take time to figure it out, because what we have,
I'm
3%, we need to table it.
We still have
Yeah,
to,
well-
we can't
So I
talk
think
about
somebody said
tabling.
7.5, if Khalid.
It's,
Mine's still on the
Councilman-
table.
Right.
Mine is still on the
There's
table.
still-
It's
that's
either we
why you
vote on
can't
it.
bring
So you
up
have to
another-
vote on the 3%.
Oh,
or
plus
he can
two.
retract
Or you
his-
can retract and change it.
and
Why,
then
why
change
didn't
it to
table it? Why
5.5.
didn't
And then
First
we
motion.
make
Mr.
it clear?
Mr. Mayor,
Right, yours is continuing, he motioned to modify it.
Why
So that's
did
the
table
question
it to
on the
make
table.
three clear?
Mr. Mayor, can I modify
Councilman
my
Khalid.
resolution
Go ahead.
to 5%?
So he's rescinding his and then modifying it to 5%.
Okay, any support?
Yes.
Who supported? Councilman Sumeri?
Mr. Chair.
Now, can we vote?
No,
We can
have a
discuss
discussion
now,
again.
we can discuss, let's see, but,
So, Mr. Mayor,
yes, go ahead.
again, I'm requesting, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, you came up to 5. 5 to 7.5 is not that far. So, former Mayor Pro Tem already proposed 7.5. Me 7.5. Mr. Mayor also kinds of agree 7.5. Is this any way you can reconsider to go the 7.5, please?
No, sir.
We can vote on it, and if it doesn't
Yeah,
pass,
yeah,
we'll take
that's it.
motion again.
Mr. Mayor, it's coming at one point, it's embarrassing, we are auctioning things. We should straightforward,
That's fine, there's
That's it.
rules.
we
Let's just vote.
should vote for it, you know, also we have to see what our community are looking for, what is our residents are looking for, what kinds of facilities they are getting. You know, we can't just think about ourselves, our own personality, and, you know, who can say what and get more close to another person. That's not the issue. We should come up to a fair thing, so which is fair for
Something
the
to
city,
discuss.
which fair for the residents, which fair for our income sources. We can't just raise everything, hire everything, and go after people with the code enforcement, police department collecting the money. We have to think about this too.
So what is we have to know?
That's what we say, we're gonna table it, take
Okay.
your time.
We're gonna vote for it.
I think you
Yeah,
gotta vote.
let's
Let's
table
finish
it,
the
take your
motion.
time.
Let's finish it today.
And then if it passes, it passes. If it doesn't, you can, somebody else can motion.
Well, okay, guys, I
Or
mean,
then
it
vote
seems
on
like you
Councilman
guys
Shabbat.
gonna put me as the decision maker, I mean,
You're
breaker.
not saying no to the raise, you're just saying no to.
No, that's not the-
If
No.
he's if he's a tiebreaker.
We'll find that out.
Yes.
Well,
That's
we can
what
talk
he's
about
saying, though.
before.
I know, but I'm saying, it's gonna be my decision now, which I was hoping that we all
It
come
might
on
still
board
happen.
and,
It's- yeah.
You do the votes and see.
All right, Councilman Hassan,
For 5%, right?
correct.
No.
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Sedman,
No.
Councilman Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
No.
Mr. Mayor.
I know.
No, we were 7.5%.
So, yeah, that's why I asked for time to negotiate outside so we can be on board and make it. But I think at this time, whoever I make unhappy should pay for our dinner tonight.
We're not voting on the resolution.
I know, but I want to give him more. So I'm definitely going to say no.
Okay.
So 3 people are mad now.
Mr. Chair.
So,
Okay.
so I wanna, that's why I'm saying, if you give me time to discuss and negotiate, we could have been all on board and make everybody happy. But,
Then you
I would
should
say,
support
I would
us.
say no and just support a little bit more for Max. I don't wanna.
Then you should
Mr.
support
Chair.
Asumari's.
So, I'm sorry, can I please pause one moment? It goes back now to the 15%.
No,
Well, there is some more.
7.5.
Yeah, yeah.
He's gonna
No,
motion.
7.5 is
But
not a
as of right now.
proposal.
Yeah.
He's about the motion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bring a motion to
Thank
1.5.
you.
Second,
You did you say it?
Yes.
7.5.
I need you to say what you want.
Yeah, I'll bring the motion for 7.5%
Okay.
raise for the city manager.
Discussion or vote?
At this point, to discuss, you can just go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Hassan,
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri,
No.
Councilman Mahmoud,
No.
Councilman Sedman,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai,
No.
Mr. Mayor.
I'll say yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2025.13, approving city manager's 7.5% salary increase approved.
All right.
Congrats.
So the city manager will pay for our dinner tonight.
Yes.
And tomorrow.
See, we spend time,
With that raise,
we spend time how to make increase salary. But when we figure out how to repair somewhere, how to make safe, nobody asking for that one.
All right.
No
we can,
safety,
no.
No repair and anything.
All right. Thank you, Councilman.
We still haven't voted on the resolution though.
We
We voted on
We just
amending
did.
the resolution.
Okay.
Yeah. So we voted to amend, I even missed that, so that's why I said, so we, let me rephrase that. Amendment to resolution 2025-13 approved at 7.5%. Now we're voting to, approve the amended resolution of 2025-13. I need a motion, please.
Make your motion.
Second.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
I need second.
Councilman Hassan?
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri?
No?
Councilman Mahmoud?
No.
Councilman Sedman?
Yes.
Councilman Musa?
Yes.
Councilman Rafai?
No.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you. Amended resolution 2025-13 approved at 7.5% salary increase for city manager.
All right. With that, we come to the end of our new business and we move to the reports. So I'll start with my report. I would like first to thank everyone who attended tonight's meeting. Thank you for sharing your concerns with the city council and mayor. We definitely take everything, seriously when we hear about issues in the city, and I hope and that we spend most of our time talking about the concerns of the residents and the issues that we have in the city, not to spend most of our time in a constant conflict with each other. That's the thing that makes me upset, and that's why I was a little bit upset tonight, and I apologize if I raised my voice, but I would like for our city council to be professional and committed to serve the people, and that's what they hope from us. I mean, they voted for us, they elected us to serve them, and we accepted this role and took this responsibility so we can serve the people and put their interest first. So with that, I hope that we can put our priorities, the interest of the people first. Last week, we went to Washington, D.C. to attend the inauguration. It was not just a regular invitation, it was a state elected official invitation. And, my invitation was supposed to be in the premier section, and before they changed the order of because of the cold, so I was supposed to be as close as possible to the president. Then everything changed, and we accepted in any seating. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, but we can say that they still appreciate our support. The president did not forget about us. They designated a special person from the team to help us and walk us around for 12 hours, from the morning until the end of the bowl at night. One person would walk us, expedite entry anywhere we go. We don't have to take a line. We don't have to stay in the cold because we have some person to show the ID, and we pass everybody. So that's why we represented our city. We were in the first row in the second hall that they designated, not in the Capitol. Like I said, it doesn't matter, but we represented our city. While we were there, at the same moment, Councilman Abu Musa made it to the New York Times in a minute. We looked, and he was there, his picture with Councilman Sadman, and I was next to them, and they skipped me. So they didn't know I am the mayor. So, but again, it was, I think we met a lot of elected officials from different places, and it's a one in a lifetime. It doesn't happen always. So it's not like we are traveling every month or so. And like I said, we were invited by the administration of Biden to Eid party last year, and we went there as well to represent the city. With that, I explained before that we thank those people here in the city council for putting their time and taking all this, the stress that we get from the residents about, you can never make everybody happy, but we are doing our best to serve with integrity and honesty at least I'm talking about myself, and I trust my city council. We get along. We argue here, sometimes heated argument, but we go out and we get along with each other. We don't take things personal. And that's why I expect Councilman Hassan to invite us for dinner tonight. And with that, I thank you again, everyone who showed up to tonight's meeting. I understand there's some concerns, especially from Councilman Hassan, about the coming election, which is coming soon. When is the window open for registration? Is it February?
The deadline for registering to be on the
February,
ballot
go ahead.
21, is it?
No, resign should be February. Go ahead, you
is
said.
April 22nd.
That's the last day to register, right?
To submit your
Submit the
updated.
application.
Okay, yeah. So with that, I understand
February, you have
that,
to resign.
No, so, please, one moment. If you need to know the information, the charter says you can't be indebted to the city, so you have to make sure you're not indebted to the city, no taxes owed, no all bills paid to the city. Once that's confirmed, you can apply, and your affidavit of identity should be submitted last day, April 22nd, which then gets submitted to Wayne County, which they do their own background check to make sure they fulfill their charters on what the rules are, and then they get back to me if you are approved or not. There is a charter that was amended in the election a couple years ago that says that somebody that wants to run for a certain position that's different than what they do, they have to withdraw, I believe it was 60 days prior to the deadline of the application fee, which that turns out to be, I think, I know we discussed, I don't have the exact date, it's like the end of February.
February 22nd.
Or something along those lines. That's a deadline to submit your resignation.
yeah, I understand.
Resignation for your position, and if if you, let's say, for example, if a city council member wants to run for mayor, they'd have to submit the resignation. If they become mayor, they become mayor. The fourth person in line to win the election fills that position, and they fulfill that